Welcome to Artistic Adventures. We're going to start a wood sprite project, and I'm going to be using that Clawdeen doll that we did the face up on. And you guys all kind of agreed that she needed to have a fantasy outfit, sort of a fairy or a wood sprite or something. So that's what we're going to go with. And this video will be focused on the dress. So here's our doll that we did the face up in, and we're going to cover her up with some paper towel to protect her hair and her face from the stuff that we're going to be using like glue and things while we work on her dress. So the first part will be over a tunic that I'm going to make out of this green stretchy material, and I kind of cut it out with these two straps that I can tie over one shoulder, and then it's going to drape down across her chest and go under her arm. So this one side will be open, or it is open, and we're going to sew a seam really just down to her hips. Now this is a scarf that I found at a thrift store. We're going to cut a little bit off the top here, and then this will be the front that will be open. And then the bottom part here, we're going to trim this up some, but it's going to trail out to a point in the back. So that's kind of the general shape. So here we are, we're just going to cut a little bit off the top there, just enough so that the waist will go around and come to meet in the front. And then it's going to be open. There's be a slash that's open down the middle of the front. So I'm taking needle and thread, and I'm just going to pick up one side of this fabric corner here and then go over and pick up the other side and then pull it together so we have the waist connected, and then the front part will stay open. Now I'm going to leave the seams rough on these. I'm not finishing them because I kind of feel like wood sprites have this sort of rustic look, like they've gathered things from the forest to make their outfits. So I'm actually going to cut off the hem. It does have a hem from the scarf, but I'm going to cut that off because I want these sharp edges to be rounded where it comes down in the front, and then it just sort of flows to that point in the back. And I'm just going to cut off the seams at the bottom and leave, but am leaving that point because I want it to trail out to a point in the back. All right, so after I do that, I sort of look at it. I like the way it drapes to the point in the back, but the front part still has some sort of angled edges, so I'm going to trim those off till I get the look that I want, where it sort of drapes down. All right, so now I'm measuring where this is going to come to. It's just right at her hip. I'm going to sew a seam from the underarm down to that point. And I'm just going to take a black pencil and mark that because I need to take it off of her, fold it inside out, and then I'm redoing that mark on the inside. And then just take some needle and thread and doing some small stitches up the side here. This is going to be sort of the base of the tunic. So, and like I said, it is going to look a little bit rougher than a finished product, but I just feel like wood sprites would have this thing where they found things in nature to use in their outfits or whatever. So that's the look I'm going for. So after I get this sewn, just going to tie off a knot here, and then we'll be able to trim the seam up the side there, and then we can turn it back right side out and put it on the doll. So we have the white underskirt that's split in the front that's going to trail out the back, and then this green tunic is going to be split on the side and right there sort of at the top of the thigh. And then I'm going to cut some sort of jagged edges around and have it come down to a point almost in the back, but it is going to be a little bit off center. Like I said, I don't want this to be too symmetrical. I want this to be a little bit, um, you know, rough in the way that the design looks and yet have it be flowing and pleasing to the eye. So I'm just cutting some little notches out. This might be, look like a leaf that she gathered and wrapped around her. And so it would have some sort of rough edges around the side. So it doesn't come down in the exact middle of the back. It's a little bit off center, but it is not the longest part is not on the side. It is more in the back. All right, so you've got the white skirt with the seam open in the middle, and then you've got the black. Now I have these leaf shapes because I think that's, sort of how I imagined a wood sprite is using like different colored leaves that she picked up for her costume. You can use any color you like. I'm using just things that I have on hand and cut them out in leaf shapes. Now you want to have different sizes because we're going to use the leaves in different parts of the outfit. So when you get the materials that you want, you choose the colors that you want to combine, then you want to cut out different sizes. And this just shows you I've cut some sort of medium, some long, some really small, some sort of in between, and just have different sizes ready so when you start putting them on the doll, you have those ready. So up at the top, we're going to use the smallest leaves. I'm just going to attach a couple up here to show you where we're headed to. So just putting on like one of the dark greens and then one of the orange ones. And I'm just using that E6000 glue to put a little dab on there and then pressing the tip of the leaf to it. All right, so we can't go from top down, we have to go from bottom up because we're overlapping the leaves. So I'm just using a little dab of the E6000 on the tip of my leaf shape, and I'm going to start at the bottom with these longer shaped leaves, and then as we move up we'll go to smaller and smaller sizes so it'll have a nice cascading effect as it comes down. So I'm just using these colors. You can use any colors you want. I just imagined, like there would be all kinds of different colors and leaves and stages of their growth. And if you wanted to do like an all pink outfit, you just use different shades of pink, etc. And then you just put them on in varying places so that the colors are all mixed up. And you don't have to put them in a row. You can put them at different heights and levels, and that just gives it a more natural look. So I've done the longer leaves, and now after I get up to a little bit above here, I'm going to start using the medium leaves, and then I'm going to go off camera and do some of this so I don't take up so much time just putting the leaves on. I think you get the picture of what we're doing here. So this is where we are at this point, and when we come back, I've done up to sort of the hip area, and now we're going to start working up to the waist. So I wanted to protect that white material, and I don't want the tunic to stick to it, so I'm putting some saran around her so that it will protect the white from having the glue stick to it. All right, so here's the back at this point, and I think it's looking pretty cool. So you have to stretch this down a little bit. She does have a stand underneath the fabric there that's holding her up, and that's what that bulge is. So you may have to stretch the fabric down to get to the places you want. And I'm making sure I cover up that seam on the side with my leaves so you can't really see it. So I've gone past the long leaves and the medium leaves, and now I'm using some smaller leaves as we head up towards the waist. And then when we get to the bodice, we'll use the smallest size. And I'm just continuing the same process, putting a little dab of glue and sticking my leaves to it and varying my colors so that it looks pleasing to the eye. All right, so went off camera and finished her all the way up to the top. And now the part that I want to work on is at the shoulder. I'm just going to put some extra leaves there that I'm going to try to make stand up as a sort of decorative element of the costume. And so I'm putting a little dab of glue, and then I'm sticking just the tip of the leaf fabric on there to try to make it stand up a little bit and come out over the shoulder. And that's just a decorative element. I am going to do some other things to this costume, to the dress, but as we go along, there are things that I want to do later because I don't want them to get damaged or dislodged. So at this point, really all we're going to do is this part of the dress with the little leaves on the shoulder. And then we'll continue this project in some more videos until we have our finished wood sprite look. All right, so there's our finished shoulder decoration. And for now, anyway, and I'm going to take that plastic off and I'll give you some pictures, still pictures, to show you a little bit better how the dress looks. So here's the front with the opening, the white opening down the middle, and the green part coming off to the side. And there's the back. And I think it turned out really pretty. So I'm happy with the dress at this point. We'll be moving on to some other parts of this costume. I hope you liked it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. And as always, I hope you will subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.